Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good day to you listening to the podcast. We are live, the views expressed for the 28th of August 2012. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, broadcasting live on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com from the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. And let me tell you something, we have a jam-packed 2 hours for you today. Yes, it is the 28th of August 2012. I've put up a lot on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Go check that out. Also, if you're listening to this show live on the website, which is freeamericaradio.wix.com/theviewsexpressed, you will notice if you're listening to me live, I am not in that chat room. There is a reason for that. For some odd reason, when I'm broadcasting on Spreaker.com, down below on the left-hand side, it shows memory. And right now it's at 79 megabytes, and when I upload or when I open the other tab for the page for the website, it goes up to like 155. So so I really don't want to crash the page. The last time I had too many tabs open and the show crashed. So it was like, not a good thing, okay? So if you techies out there want to email me and help me figure that one out, please do. Personally, you can email me for the show at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Michael Vera over at latenightinthemidlands.com. They cover everything. And when he says everything, he means it. Everything. Everything. He's had some really good guests on. He's had, believe it or not, if you go back in the archives of Late Night in the Midlands, and specifically over at Blog Talk Radio under N Search, that's the letter N and the word search, you'll find that he has interviewed Jesse Ventura. So, it is important that we get the word out one way or another. It's important that we discuss these things. It's important that I hopefully can bring some breakdown of the news and tell you exactly what's going on, and hopefully encourage you to go out and investigate this stuff yourself. It is very, very important that we stand against the tyranny that is currently in what used to be the United States of America, which is now the North American Union. If you don't believe me, go check it out. Now, I'm going to go to break here and get some water, stuff like that. You know, and I shall be back in about 3 minutes. I'll be back right after this.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Come listen to Journey into Light with your host Michael Long. This show is about looking into the afterlife. Where do our souls go from here? What are the true messages from above? Everybody is family, so make a journey into light with Michael Long your home. With the best guests on the show, they share the love with all who call in and those who are in the chat room. That's Journey into Light with Michael Long, Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on blogtalkradio.com/Journey into the Light. Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor looking to hone your abilities? Are you a writer looking for actors? Then Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is for you. If you are a voice actor or a writer of sci-fi themed radio plays, send your information to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. For more information, go to eastlandradiofilms.wix.com/EastlandFilms for more information. If you are a voice actor, send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. This is the Views Express for the 28th of August 2012. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, broadcasting live on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting on the Spreaker.com, broadcasting from the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. I hope you're having a great day, because I know I am. It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday, and I got to tell you, we got a jam-packed 2 hours today, and let's take a look at what we got. You can follow along at Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. I got pictures up there. Now, the thing that I want to share with you is the reason why I call the network Liberty and Freedom Network is because of one very specific reason. Okay? First of all, what's the definition of liberty? Well, it's a noun, and the plural is liberties. Number one, freedom from arbitrary or despotic government or control. Number two, freedom from external or foreign rule, independence. Number three, freedom from control, interference, obligation, restriction, hampering conditions, etc., or power or right of doing, thinking, speaking, etc., according to choice. 4. Freedom from captivity, confinement, or physical restraint. 5. Permission granted to a sailor, especially in the Navy, to go ashore. What part of liberty don't you understand? And the freedom part is simple. We are free to be the human beings that we are. We are free to be. And just remember that. We are free to be. And I always end the show with, we the people have the power, for we are America. And we are. We are free to be who we are. There's no other way to explain it. You know? Imagine somebody coming into your house and, just somebody off the street coming into your house, going into your refrigerator and eating your food and saying, well, I'm free to do this because I'm a sovereign citizen. Excuse me? No, you're not. You don't have the freedom just to come into my house uninvited and eat my food. Okay? Some people would say, well, why not? Well, it's real simple. Okay? Others would say, well, then you're not truly free if you're not able to do that. With liberty and with freedom, there comes responsibility and self-responsibility and self-discipline. I mean, it's all connected. And the ultimate is common sense. Okay? Which is something that apparently Washington, D.C. is lacking at this point. Because now, with, I think it was last year sometime, it was on the books in Texas that they're putting aside the Trans-Texas Corridor vote. But then again, behind the scenes, a company came in and bought up the whatever it was they were doing and decided, screw it, we're going to do it anyway. So I believe the Trans-Texas Corridor is on again, as it was off before. You've also got people in Washington, D.C. that think, and I use that term loosely, that the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence don't mean a thing anymore. And I can tell you this much. I believe that about 75 to 85% of all congressmen and women in Washington, D.C. currently need to be arrested, need to be questioned, and need to go back to school and read the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. That's what I believe, but that's my 2 cents worth. But I also believe that we don't need people in Washington, D.C. that are going to basically bend over, if you know what I mean. But then again, we have people out in California at Bohemian Grove that could care less. Oh, it's just a bunch of people getting together. No, it's not. More and more information is coming out about Bohemian Grove. Mark Dice did a story on it. Luke Rudowski did a story on it. As a matter of fact, just recently got harassed by people over there. Alex Jones and other folks went there as well and got video footage, and other people and former people who were part of the organization came out and blew the whistle on the place and literally have had threats against their life. Now, it's the same thing with the Bilderberg meeting that happened a few months ago in Chantilly, Virginia. It's a group of world leaders and world people behind the scenes controlling all of, all the politics in every single country. The Bohemian Grove folks, they get together and say, here's who's going to be in whatever position they decide that they're going to put those people in. The Bilderberg group is the same way. May 31st of this year, Mitt Romney, 4 people witnessed Mitt Romney at the Bilderberg meeting in Chantilly, Virginia. 4 people. Now, everything just literally has just been thrown out the door. Your rights have been thrown out the door. There's drones going to be placed in permanently flying over your city. There's going to be autonomous robots or androids walking through your city to help with the police and the law enforcement. Posse comitatus has been thrown out the door. And now the military can help the law enforcement, in whatever manner they see fit. And it has nothing to do with your freedoms. Because they're incrementally, or I should say methodically as well, tearing away at the fabric of your liberties. Let me read that again. Liberty, or liberties, freedom from external or foreign rule, independence. That's the second meaning in that list. The first one is freedom from arbitrary or despotic government or control. Okay? The third one is freedom from control, interference, obligation, because you're not obligated to follow the New World Order if you're a liberated free person, restriction, hampering conditions, again, etc., power or right of doing, thinking, and speaking, etc., according to choice. Your choice, not theirs. Okay? So do we have that clear now? Is that clear? This is why I created the Liberty and Freedom Network, which of course you can support. It's listener supported. Go to the website. There's a donate button there if you'd like to support. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But as far as liberty is, what is it to you? Okay? Well, I'll give you this. Okay? The word freedom, and if you want to know, if you hear me typing, I went to dictionary.com. And freedom is the state of being free or at liberty rather than in confinement or under physical restraint. Exemption from external control, interference, regulation, etc. The power to determine action without restraint, by choice. Remember that? Number 4, political or national independence. 5, personal liberty as opposed to bondage or slavery. Period. Okay? So my message to my listeners and to my fellow patriots out there, I want to say this. If you, I'm saying if, not in terms of doubting that you have the confidence to carry this out, but if you understand liberty and freedom for what it is, I don't think you would be sitting on your butts watching stupid reality shows and your dumb sports programs on ESPN and drinking your damn beer. I think there would be somewhere in your cranium, packed away in your mental Rolodex somewhere, the understanding of what you mean to yourself. Can you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I have meaning, I have purpose, I have something that I can contribute to the liberty and freedom movement? Then if you can say that and answer yes, then what are you doing? Or are you too busy looking at the false, the puppets that they have in Hollywood? The false sense of meaning coming out of Anaheim and Hollywood. By the way, Anaheim is partially shut down still with martial law. If I'm wrong, please email me, libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com, libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. But are you more inclined to sit there and to see what's happening with Kim Kardashian, or are you willing to stand up and take a page out out of the book of our founding fathers and say, you know what? This country is mine. I was born and raised here, and guess what? No one is going to take that away from me. No one. We have unalienable. Everybody mistakes that word for unalienable. No, it's not. It's unalienable. What happens when you get a lien against your house because you didn't pay your power bill? There's a lien against your house. Am I not correct? It's unalienable. No one can take that away from you. No one can take away your right to be. Your right to be who you are, want to be, choose to be. That is what you should be answering in the mirror when you look at yourself every morning. What can I do? Do I have meaning? Do I have purpose? Am I doing the right thing in determining my liberty and my freedom? That is something that you really need to look at. I'll stop preaching. Thank you very much. I get on a tear and I don't get into the news and I spend a half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour, going that direction. But hey, if you want to email me or email the show, you can email the show at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com, libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. And please, if you want to email me personally, you can use that email, or you can send me a personal email at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Just want to take a few moments and thank the people at Spreaker.com for building this system that they have. It's awesome. If you want to know more about Spreaker.com, go to, for those listening on my website, click on the link there and go down to the bottom of the page and it'll say plans. Okay? Go check it out. Awesome plans. For all you techies out there, you can check out what bandwidth they're running and all of that. And it's just fantastic. It says right there in the plans what it is, and you will be totally amazed. I used to be on another network, Blog Talk Radio. The sound over there really sucks. Okay, they need to upgrade their servers and all of it. But I'm not going to pay $40 for 2 hours and then that's it. Yeah, pretty much what it is. Here, I'm broadcasting on Spreaker. I can broadcast a 2-hour show, reset 10 minutes later, be back up with another show. Over there, can't do that. Can't do that. But anyway, I like it at Spreaker. They're changing some things. They're moving things around. They're hopefully by October, end of September, early October, they should have word about some major changes to the DJ console. They're going to have, from what I understand, I'll have to email them again and find out how close they are to do this. From what I understand, they're going to have ways for people to call in. If you host a show, they're going to have a way for listeners to call into your show, hopefully. Don't know how close they are to getting that, but speaking of calling in, this coming Friday, I'm going to have Open Forum Friday for the first hour. You can call in, discuss anything you want. Geopolitical stuff, whatever it may be. Last week, a friend of mine called and we spent 2 hours talking about various issues and various health care issues and stuff like that. So that was pretty good. I really appreciate her calling in and talking about that. The thing is all I ask is that you be polite. That's all I ask. Just be polite. Just use common sense. That's all. That's all. You got a favorite apple pie recipe you want to share? Hey, you can do that too on Open Forum Friday. This Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network on the Views Expressed. So I will give you more information during the week on how you can call in and discuss those issues. There's so much. You want to follow along here for the show? Go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. I got a lot of stories up there. And like I said in the beginning, we've got a jam-packed 2 hours. And there is so much to go over, so much to talk about. It's just amazing that so many things change, every 5 minutes. So I got a lot of pictures up on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook, especially from Debka.com, DBKA.com. U.S. and Iran build up Sunni Shiite showdown in Syria. So we're going to talk about that in the next hour and a half. And, of course, from Infowars.com, cyborg tissue is half living cells, half electronics. From RawStory.com, coal miners say they were forced to attend Romney event and donate. And from the Intel Hub, Big Sis begins releasing biological agents into Boston subway. And, of course, from www.2.tbo.com, drones to patrol skies over Republican convention. And, of course, there's all kinds of other things as well. DHS amassing arms for secret forces to be used against the American citizens? The Intel Hub over there, theintelhub.com. Susan Pozell wrote an article over there as well. Of course, Hollywood, I spoke about that. They're spewing their hate speech. There are conservatives in Hollywood, but you won't see them come out and say anything. They like their $20 million paychecks for movies. But anyway, this is the Liberty and Freedom Network. You are listening to The Views Expressed. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, for the 28th of August, 2012. I shall return right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the king of all dorks. Go listen to the Chris Top program right here on Spreaker.com. Cameras on every corner, TSA checkpoints on major highways, militarized law enforcement in every major city. This is not the United States of America we grew up in. Come get the facts about what exactly is going on. The Views Expressed, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, on Spreaker Web Radio. For more information, go to www.spreaker.com.
Are you tired of the mainstream media? The media that is so biased, you wouldn't even let your dog listen to it? Well, there's an answer. Angel Club.
On RadioFreedom.us.
Just listen to her fans.
One hell of a writer. I've read a considerable amount of her articles and quite impressed.
Until Angel, my life was void of meaning.
I want to thank you for saving my goldfish from drowning.
I love Angel Clark's honesty and her down-to-earth concern about the people.
She is very dedicated.
Angel, we need you.
This Angel's a sexy woman. I think she's going to go places, but I don't know where.
Ladies and gentlemen, she does a good job.
If it wasn't for Angel,
You saved his life, and I will be indebted to you forever.
SussexCountyAngel.com. Be a part of Angel's Army.
Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on RadioFreedom.us.
This is the Views Expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live from the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, broadcasting on Spreaker.com. Hope you're all having a great day. Hope you're all enjoying your evening, your early evening. I know in some places it's 4:34 p.m. here on the West Coast. I know it's 7:34 on the East Coast. So I hope you're having a good time. You're enjoying your family. And stay tuned. I got more coming up. Seriously. I got another hour and a half. So, hey. So let's get into some of the news. First of all, from Debka, DEBKA.com. U.S. and Iran build up Sunni Shiite showdown in Syria. Sunni Muslim fighters stream into Syria from across the Middle East, Africa, and Central Asia, helped by the U.S., the U.K., and Qatar. Iran and Hezbollah are pushing Shiite reinforcements into the embattled country. Al-Qaeda is deeply plunged into the fray. The coming Debka Net Weekly, out next Friday, traces the Syrian war cycle as it widens into a deadly Sunni Shiite showdown set to outstrip the Afghan and Iraqi wars in scale and violence. Okay? That's from that. It is on record that Al-Qaeda is funded by your tax dollars. Why in the world do we have all these massive wars all over the place? By the way, just a little note here. This is a short segment, longer segment coming up. Why do we have all of these wars? Does it have something to do with, let's say, politics? No. Does it have something to do with, I don't know, helping a indigenous people, battle their enemies and become freer than what they are? Possibly, but overall in the whole aggregate of the thing, no. Does it have something to do with, I don't know, getting humanitarian aid to people who are sick? Ask your Nobel Prize, Peace Prize winner, Barack Obama, about that one. I would say no, by the way. has everything to do with occupation and power. There are no reasons for war. Let me break this down for you in this short segment. Let me break this down for you. What is a war? Okay, why are there people battling over there, and why are Sunni and Shiites battling? By the way, that's been going on for 5, 6, 7,000 years, or as long as people have been over there in the Middle East. Okay, let me break this down and make it very, very simple. I'm sure you had a brother or sister that was older than you and maybe younger than you, and let's see. I want my brother's car. I want my sister's doll. So you just walk over there and you take it from them. Of course, they yell, scream, mom, dad, whatever. They come in and, But let me put it to you this way. An argument is one person's view over another, and in that, one person will always say that they are right and the other person says they're wrong. They both have an understanding of the subject and the issue, but someone is going to say you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, or things like that. You begin to yell and scream and outshout the other person, which is really stupid, but your emotions get in the way. Therefore, what happens? You want to punch the lights out of the person that you're arguing with because you think you're right. Little side note, no one is completely wrong, no one is completely right. Where do you go from there? In the bigger aggregate of the world and its wars that we are involved in, let me say this. The power elite, the Bilderberg Group, have sent out their little minions. They have bought up, paid for, stolen, crippled, and literally destroyed countries for their own little devious criminal purposes. What is that purpose? For over 236 years, the United States has been united in one thing, liberty and freedom. Well, actually, two things. Actually, a whole lot of things, but the two major things, 1 and 2 on the top of the list, are liberty and freedom. The new colonies came about because somebody said, wait a minute, we are sick and tired of listening to the king over there in England telling us what to do. Piss on him. We're going to do what we want. We're going to set up our own government. We are going to do this. This started in the mid to late 1600s. If I'm wrong, please email me, libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com, libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. And by the mid-1700s, or I should say, around 1751 or 2, that's about midway, somebody sat down and said, wait a minute, let's do this. And so from that point on, they developed this thing called, what is it? Oh, a Declaration of Independence. Everybody thinks that America didn't start with the 13 colonies until 1776. No, you're wrong. It goes further back than that. We had colonies here, but they weren't new colonies. They were here, little, people in little what's called townships, little villages. That's what we had. But we had to come together and say, wait a minute, if I'm trading with these people 100 miles away, I need to set up some rules and blah, blah, blah. All of that. It's a lot of semantics involved. But in 1773, an ambassador, we had ambassadors here, of course, spokesmen, there we go, if I say the word correctly. going over to England, talking to the king, and the king's like, hey, I don't know about this. Remember the Bible when Moses went to Pharaoh saying, let my people go? And the Pharaoh denied his request 3 times? What happened after the 3rd time? So by 1775, it was decided we were going to be a free nation of free and sovereign people, liberated from the tyranny of the Church of England and kings of Britain. So, in 1776, a little booklet was put out called Common Sense, and 7 months later, the Declaration of Independence was signed. Because a newly forming country with free and liberated citizens, and about 2% of those folks were in a military way, beat back the biggest army of that time, the British Empire. Very few people understand that. And here we are, 236 years later, living in a liberated country with freedoms guaranteed, unalienable. That's the right word. It's not inalienable. I said that, so I have to correct myself. I'm sorry. It's unalienable rights, because the government can't take it away from us. And we are free people. We are free people. That's who we are. Remember, I was talking about understanding your purpose to be. Okay, remember that. Okay? So here we are. We're free people. We are what we are. We cannot change that. We shouldn't. I am going to skip this break and go to the top of the hour. Lovely. Broadcasting live and my phone rings for some odd reason. I don't know who it is. They're going to get the voicemail. And if that sounds annoying, it is. Have you ever been doing something and all of a sudden, these little annoying things happen and it just turns your day really bad? Email me personally, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Maybe that was a sign from above saying take a break. I don't know. So, anyway, I changed my mind. See, I'm not always right. I don't know everything. Okay? Maybe that was take a break. Okay. Who knows? Right? Anyway. You have unalienable rights. Look under lien. L-E-I-N or L-I-E-N or however you spell it. Look under what it is. And unalienable rights. They cannot be taken away from you. Ever. Because they were given to you by a creator. Yes, not the government. Okay? So we go from there. Now, the other thing that people don't understand, and you can email me and let me know if I'm wrong about this in regards to people not understanding this, but I don't believe that people understand how incredibly strong and resilient this country is. I could be wrong in that, because in the last 100 years, we've rolled over and just bowed down and kissed the feet of the idols in L.A. and Hollywood and New York, and we have, these role models that play basketball and baseball, and they're actors and they're singers and they're rock stars, when over 230 years ago, the rock stars of that time were Thomas Jefferson, whereas, George Washington and Abe Lincoln and all that, because back then, all you had was God, country, and family. Nowadays, where is that? Seriously? Where is all that? I don't understand it. I seriously don't understand why people took their eyes off of the truth. Okay? I don't know why. Because when you look beyond the makeup, when you look beyond the famous shoes or whatever, when you take the facade off of these people and you look at them, they are nothing more than human beings living a limited life, being told what to do, when to do it, why to do it, how to do it, and that we are going to like it. Let me tell you something. They're being controlled. They're being used as puppets to get you to buy something, to do something, to worship them, when there's only one in the universe that should be worshipped. But I don't want to start preaching, even though I'm a reverend. I'm going to keep it cool. Okay? If you want to email us here at the radio show, go ahead and email us at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. If you want to email me personally at the show, you can do that as well. You can do that by emailing me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. There's a lot of things to be discussing here. I'm going to jam through it when we get back from this break. I'm glad the phone rang because, hey, needed to take a break anyway. Anyway, you're listening to the Views Express for the 28th of August, 2012. We shall return.
Are you tired of the mainstream media? The media that is so biased, you wouldn't even let your dog listen to it? Well, there's an answer.
Angel Clark.
On RadioFreedom.us.
Just listen to her fans.
One hell of a writer. I've read a considerable amount of her articles and quite impressed.
Until Angel, my life was void of meaning.
I want to thank you for saving my goldfish from drowning.
I love Angel Clark's honesty and her down-to-earth concern about the people.
She is very dedicated.
Angel, we need you.
This Angel's a sexy woman. I think she's going to go places, but I don't know where.
Ladies and gentlemen, she does a good job.
If it wasn't for Angel,
You saved his life, and I will be indebted to you forever.
SussexCountyAngel.com. Be a part of Angel's Army.
Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on RadioFreedom.us.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the king of all dorks. Go listen to the Chris Top program right here on Spreaker.com. Whatever the subject you can think of, we talk about it. Come join Diana and Wayne as we discuss whatever it is that is happening in our lives.
Come and listen to Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Check it out on Spreaker.com.
For close to a century, our government leaders have been manipulated by sinister groups behind the scenes. The facts are out there, mostly hidden in plain sight. For over 15 years, one man has been at the forefront of the alternative media, both on terrestrial radio and now the internet. He has been given access and documents to the most secretive methods of those that are truly running our government. That man is Alex Jones. For more information, go to www.infowars.com or prisonplanet.com and listen to his nationally syndicated radio show, live audio streaming at infowars.com or prisonplanet.com. Howdy. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. You are listening to News Express for the 28th of August, 2012. Thank you for joining me today. I spent a good hour talking about liberty and freedom. And I hope you listened. Just let me know. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. If you happen to be listening and you follow the show, I do get notifications in my email that people are following this particular show on Spreaker.com. Please send me an email. Send it personally to me through the show at Free America Radio at USA.com. Free America Radio at USA.com. Now, just to touch on some things and summarize what liberty and freedom means to me. It means that I don't allow my government to tell me what to do. Unless I am in the military, which I'm former military, I don't tell my government what to do. I don't tell people what to do anyway, because I think it's wrong. Unless I'm paying them, unless they're paying me every 2 weeks, then yeah, no one has a right to tell me what to do. No one has a right to tell you what to do. Unless they're your boss and they pay you every 2 weeks, and then you have a totally different story there. What we have to understand is that our liberties and freedoms are very, very important to us. Or at least they should be. Anybody that commits a crime has, literally violated the very premise of what the laws of this country represent. The laws are only there to protect you. Yes, that's the core of the laws, but they're also there to help you against someone else. Or if someone accuses you of something, then you have that. Okay, again, to summarize, liberties and freedoms mean literally just that. You have liberty from government telling you what to do. You are free to make the choice to do for your life what you believe is right for you. Okay? There's no question about that. And I don't know. I mean, we can, and I do want everyone to understand that, yes, liberty and freedom is very, very important. Very important. But again, the question is how important is it to you? Now, I really understand what liberty and freedom is because I studied history. I understand it. I know the inner workings of these folks in history. And I use their playbook against them, basically. The criminals that take over countries, the fascists, the dictators, the controllers, the business types that pay off politicians to get GMO foods into places like Walmart or your local store, and pay off politicians not to label those as GMO foods. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway. So I study this stuff, and I understand what liberties and freedoms are. You're liberated from the crap that the government throws at you, and you're free to make the choices for your own life. The government should not do that for you. Are you going to allow them to do that? Seriously? Are you? This is Liberty and Freedom Network. The views expressed, I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. I shall return right after this.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Come listen to Journey into Light with your host, Michael Long. The show is about looking into the afterlife. Where do our souls go from here? What are the true messages from above? Everybody is family, so make a journey into light with Michael Long your home. With the best guests on the show, they share the love with all who call in and those who are in the chat room. That's Journey into Light with Michael Long, Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on blogtalkradio.com/journey into the light. Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor looking to hone your abilities? Are you a writer looking for actors? Then Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is for you. If you are a voice actor or a writer of sci-fi themed radio plays, send your information to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. For more information, go to eastlandradiofilms.wix.com/eastlandfilms for more information. If you are a voice actor, send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. listening to the views expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. Broadcasting live behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9 in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. This is Tuesday, the 28th of August, 2012. Thank you for joining me for the Views Expressed. I'm always happy to see people in the chat room. I'm always happy that people are supporting the show just by showing up. If you're on the website for the show, please take a look. On the right-hand side, you see a book, Many Directions of Man. I wrote that. Please get a copy of that. Also on the left-hand side, you'll see two tabs. One says Store, and the other one says Donate. This is a listener-supported show, so you can donate as much as you want. You can go to the store and support the show as well and buy stuff to promote your patriotism. I do want to make this announcement that I do have ad slots open, or I'm selling ads at this point. If you would like to advertise your product or service on the show, you can email your information to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Put in the subject line ads and let me know from there. It's not going to break your bank, trust me. I'm very reasonable. When you buy my book, Many Directions of Man, off the website, and when you donate, all that's doing is keeping the show going and keeping the website up and going. That's all. I'm looking to upgrade the website. So, and getting an IT person and helping out in that area. So, if you can volunteer some time and some of your time to help out the show, that would be awesome. And volunteers in every aspect of the Liberty and Freedom Network, to people who report on what's going on in their area, people who take videos and have, small short films about liberty and freedom, please send that to me as well at Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. I am looking for stories from your neck of the woods to put on the website and also into the Liberty and Freedom Network newsletter, which I send out, on average about 3 or 4 times a month. It's a free newsletter. And so if you write stories or heard of something or whatever it may be, please send that information to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Lots of things that I'd like to do with this show. Like I said, the website, I'm going to upgrade, I'm going to update it. I haven't been over there to work on it for a while because, life gets in the way. And it's, I got to eat sometime. You know what I mean? It's so anyway. Liberty and Freedom Network is what I'm broadcasting on, and I'm also broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. They have some great plans over there. Go check them out. www.spreaker.com. Scroll on down to the bottom of the page. You'll see this little thing that says plans. Go check that out, and if you like it, cool. Right on, welcome. So, onward and upward to bigger and better things in the last hour. I want to direct your attention to the Liberty and Freedom Network page on Facebook. You'll have to scroll on down, you'll see this picture. And it's from newsfocus.org/media_control.htm. It says here, according to the former FBI Director William Colby, quote, "The CIA owns everyone of any significance in the major media, unquote. The second attack on the media through covert intel. As if that wasn't bad enough, the CIA made its own foray into news control in the 1940s with a program to infiltrate the media with the idea to have select journalists parrot the official government line under the guise of national patriotism. Let me interject something there before I go on. National patriotism. National patriotism. National socialist. Nationalizing. Does that thought go anywhere? Yes, it does. The National Socialist Party. Socialist Party of America. Let's see. National Socialist. Oh, the Nazi Party of old Germany in the 1930s and 40s. Interesting. Let me continue. Some news members were simply duped, naively thinking that they were helping America by disseminating important news. Others were simply unscrupulous and morally deficient in their professional trade and were easily enough bought out, spewing whatever disinformation and propaganda that they could cash in on. This project was known as Operation Mockingbird. The name alone was suggestive to the mission's objective, total control of the U.S. media system. Many might naively scoff at such an idea until perhaps they hear it straight from the horse's mouth. www.newsfocus.org/media_control.htm. Click on the link there at Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Quote, the CIA owns everyone of any significance in the major media, former CIA Director William Colby. So that makes, let's see here, folks, 1 + 1 is 2, would it not be? So let me get this straight. And let me convey or disseminate this truthful information to you. You are sitting there listening to your cable news networks and your local news stations, and they are disseminating propaganda into your ears. And what do? You, being the obedient sheeple that you are, you go about your business doing whatever the propaganda tells you to do. So, add that to the major media being bought out by every, corporatist there is in terms of the regal elite. And you have, and that equals, state-run media. Let's see. They had a national awareness, national, what was it there? What was the word? National patriotism. That's right. They had that. 1934-35 in Germany. Chancellor Hitler was there. And he pretty much became a dictator. They had National Socialist Party there, which the anagram, or however you want to say it, also known as AKA the Nazi Party. And what did they do? Well, they went about destroying the humanity of every single living German that there was. And their propaganda minister literally brainwashed them into thinking that the government knew better. Okay? All right? I mean, seriously? Huge amounts of problems that we have faced in our country, but as I said before, we are resilient. We can and will. We can and will overcome all this. Goebbels, Nazi Germany, Minister of Public Enlightenment. Love that phrase, Minister of Public Enlightenment. He said, quote, propaganda works best when those who are being manipulated are confident that they are acting on their own free will, unquote. One of our presidents in this country, President Eisenhower, go to eisenhowermemorial.org. President Eisenhower in 1954 said, quote, should any political party attempt to abolish Social Security and unemployment insurance and eliminate labor laws and farm programs, you would not hear from that party again in our political history. There is a tiny splinter group, of course, that believes you can do these things. Their number is negligible, and they are stupid. Now, comments there in the picture on Liberty and Freedom Network vary. One person says so true, and from a real Republican, we are entering the second dark age with the splinter group of Republicans. Stupidity knows no boundaries, and along with evil, rises again to rear its ugly head. Bingo. Someone else says, I think that this country really, truly needs is a Democratic Republican team. Whatever happened to United We Stand, we're divided as a country and so falling. It's just a question of how long until there's nothing in the street, a rioting in the street, and no longer a never or an if. I don't understand why we can't just work together as Americans for the common good instead of being at each other's throats. It makes each of us look bad, which makes all of us look bad. That's just two of the comments on the picture of President Eisenhower saying this. You can go to eisenhowermemorial.org for more information. Earlier I mentioned GMO foods. There's a picture there on Liberty and Freedom Network. GMO flakes. Don't ask what's inside. Just look at those gold medals. Okay? Genetic engineering, the world's greatest scam. And everything you must know about dangerous genetically modified food. By the way, a programmer under oath in open court admits computers rig elections. I talked about that yesterday, and of course, we all know that the elections are rigged. So there's no, we're just going through the motions. FDA approves sale of pills with RFID microchip in it, and Walmart is selling GMO corn and not labeling it. Do not buy corn at Walmart. Geneticist David Suzuki, giving the 2008 Commonwealth Lecture in London, says, quote, any scientist who tells you they know that GMOs are safe and not to worry about it is either ignorant of the history of science or is deliberately lying. Nobody knows what the long-term effect will be, unquote. And of course, picture on Liberty and Freedom Network says central banks fund all sides of every war. They never lose. Okay? I don't know what to say, folks. I mean, I'm baffled, if nothing else, over the complete and infinite ignorance of the people in Washington, D.C. But see, that doesn't stop there. I am baffled by the ignorance of the general population of the United States of America. On average, more people know and are aware and awake to what's going on. So, yay, standing ovation for you. But there are others who are just sitting back going, I don't believe any of this. I want positive things to listen to. I don't want to listen to all this political mumbo jumbo and all these conspiracy theories. I just want to sit down and drink my beer and watch ESPN because I want to see my football. Now, let me enlighten some folks. There's a problem in this country. That's an understatement, is it not? There's a problem in this country, and the problem is knowledge. No one has the knowledge. They don't want to have the knowledge. They don't want to get out and look at this stuff. They don't want to understand what's going on and how things truly are. They don't want to. They just want to stay in their little cubicle in their office space somewhere and look at TMZ.com on the internet and listen to all that gossip bull crap going on. You know? They don't want to read the real news or hear the news anywhere whatsoever, because all they care about is walking through the cashier and grabbing their Globe or their National Enquirer and getting their news from there. And no, it's not a scene out of Men in Black. These people don't care, okay? I would even go as far as saying for every 10 people that are aware, 2 people or 3 people are standing around going, you people are nuts. You people are crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, excuse me there, Bubba. I know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? If you've got brains the size of a cow pie, then you got a problem there, mister. By the way, did I tell you that this is a no-holds-barred show, that I tell it like it is? Yeah. Let me tell you somebody else who tells it like it is, and that's Mr. Michael Vera over at Late Night in the Midlands. Let's just say this. I am more inclined to listen to people who are outside of the mainstream media, who have ejected themselves out of the system and ejected themselves out of the mindset of people who have their head up their butts or stuck in the sand. As far as I'm concerned, those people can, pack up their crap and leave the United States of America and let us people who know what's going on take care of the situation to where we can get this country back on the right road to prosperity instead of on the wrong road to destruction. Okay? I know people are going to disagree with me, and you can. freeamericaradio@usa.com if you want to email me personally at the show, or you can email the show at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. I know people are going to disagree with me. Why do you say that? Why do you say America is on the road to destruction? Hello, have you walked outside your house lately? Have you gone to the mall lately? Have you gone to your local gas station lately? Have you seen what was going on? Have you been listening to anything that is geopolitical and anything that is geofinancial? Did I just make that word up? That's kind of cool. Look at what is going on. And I got a suggestion. If you got a brain, how about using it? Talk about GMO foods. They put poison in the foods. Yeah, it's poison. It's garbage. Trust me, genetically modified organisms. Okay? All right? How do you think they can clone an ear of corn? How do you think they can get the tomatoes or the apples looking as good as they do? Anybody that shops at Walmart, China Mart, whatever it is you want to call it, Wally World, doesn't matter. They are now going to have corn that is not labeled GMO. Okay? Not going to label it. Why? They don't think they have to. Well, guess what? Yeah, they have to. Trust me. Okay? Naturalnews.com. Go there, please. Thank you. It talks about, well, it gave me a list of a whole lot of stuff. So, but go to naturalnews.com, punch in the search engine there, GMO foods, you will get the stories. By the way, the FDA just approved the sale of pills with RFID microchips. Go to, that story is from beginningandend.com. By the way, crazywolfradio.com. National Guard ad for internment resettlement specialist. Okay? Oh yeah, hey, if you live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, let me know whether or not you got Black Hawk helicopters flying around your city. They're supposed to be training. I don't think so, folks. So get over yourself, really. Come on. Open up your eyes and see what's really going on. All right? Oh, if you're a baby boomer, what's that, 45 to 63? 1945 to 1963? CDC targeting baby boomers for mass vaccination agenda. OccupyCorporatism.com has that article for you to read. Yeah. I want to talk about this in the last few mementos of the show, as soon as the web page comes up. From TBO.com, TampaBayOnline.com. Thank you, folks over there. Howard Altman, thank you. I'm going to analyze your story. Drones to patrol skies over Republican convention. Security-conscious authorities will be using a wide variety of devices and technology to monitor the skies, streets, and waterways around Tampa during next week's Republican National Convention. This was August 24th, 4 days ago. Cameras, helicopters, and law enforcement officers will be employed to help look for suspicious activity and possible threats. From patriots who want to take pictures, from reporters from alternative media trying to get a story. Add to that mix one more technology, drones. This will mark the first time unmanned aerial vehicles will patrol the skies over a national convention, according to an engineer with the Naples company that builds and will operate the drones. The vehicle called an Aether Arrow is an 8-blade vertical takeoff platform that will provide intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance to government agencies, according to Kurt Winter, an engineer with United Drones. Someone want to go look up that company? Thank you. Send me information to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Continuing, the 4.5-foot wide Aether Arrow, which resembles a small helicopter, can fly up to 4,000 feet high, and with a specially built battery that can operate up to 4 hours at a time, Winter said. It is equipped with a 109 power optical zoom camera, can lift up to 50 pounds, and is so so light, it can be picked up with 2 fingers, according to Chris Knott, United Drones Director of Corporate Development. In addition to the unmanned aerial vehicles, United Drones will operate several unmanned ground vehicles called, get this, folks, called Wraiths, WRAITHS, at the convention. The Wraiths can travel up to 65 miles per hour, quote, and climb just about anything, said Winter. The Wraiths, also built by United Drones, have the capability of carrying surveillance cameras and even lethal and non-lethal weapons. Quote, they are fully autonomous backup units, unquote, Winter said of the Wraiths. Quote, they are designed to follow certain agencies out into the field, and if they get into trouble, be activated by a command center and provide instant backup, unquote. Winter would not say which government agency will use the aerial drones and what will be targeted by their sensors, nor who will use the Wraiths or how they will be equipped. But police are expecting thousands of protesters to descend on the area for the convention, scheduled to kick off Sunday night, which was 2 days ago, with a party for media and delegates at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. The first sessions are scheduled for Monday, and protests are expected throughout the event, set to run through August 30th, weather permitting, which, of course, Hurricane Isaac is on the way. Thursday, a new YouTube video, purportedly from the hacking collective known as Anonymous, surfaced, calling on protesters to disable surveillance cameras, jam police radio systems, and tear down barriers. That video comes on the heels of one posted on YouTube last week saying that peaceful protest is passé. Knott said the drones will have, quote, see and avoid technology, unquote, technology that will allow the drones to avoid hitting one another or crashing into buildings or other aircraft. Weather won't be an issue if the Aether Arrow, said Winter. Weather won't be an issue for the Aether Arrow, said Winter. The drones can fly at night, even through a hurricane, something that could come into play with Tropical Storm Isaac projected to become Hurricane Isaac. Quote, we will be there basically Sunday through the end of the convention, unquote, Winter said. Quote, we could fly in a hurricane. It is gyro stabilized, unquote. United Drones was formed about 2 years ago, said Winter, and has about 15 employees. The convention is a great chance to showcase what drones can do for both military and civilian uses, Knott said. KNOTT. Quote, they have a known and practical application with law enforcement and the military, but there are a number of other potential users. Search and rescue, tracking algae blooms, or oil spills, highway safety, wildlife migration, unquote, Knott said. Okay, let me analyze this. For one, drones are systematically and methodically being put into the air and are basically, well, let's just say they don't need a search warrant to fly down near the window of your house and look through it unless they have thermal imaging cameras on it that they can look through your walls to see what you're doing. Autonomous robots or those types of things do not need a search warrant to knock on your door and come into your house. Now, are we looking at humanoidal type of, robots that walk autonomously on 2 legs like Terminator? Yes, they've had those out for about a decade or so. Also, the fact that this Republican convention was put off one day tells me that, well, tells me that weather was a factor. But let me go back to the article. It says, in addition to the unmanned aerial vehicles, United Drones will operate several unmanned ground vehicles called Wraiths at the convention. The Wraiths can travel up to 65 miles an hour, quote, and climb just about anything, unquote, said Winter. Okay, we need to know what those are. Because that is a total and absolute violation of any reasonable and unalienable rights that we have. Okay? Now, when you look at the technology that's out there and the equipment that we have now on Mars that can just travel, look at what they can do. You got one of these wraiths. They climb up just about anything. They can climb on the side of your house and take one of their little robotic arms and have a little tiny microphone at the end and just put it against the window and hear everything you're saying. Well, they do that anyway because they're monitoring every available way of communication. So, we need to know what those things are. Anybody have information on them, please send it to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. If you are a whistleblower and you don't want, your name out there or anything like that, and you want to send me documents, you can do that at whistleblowertips at USA.com. Whistleblowertips at USA.com. I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, I look at this stuff and I read this stuff and I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? Well, if that's not enough, check this out. From the intelhub.com. An article posted today by Steve Watson and his brother Paul Joseph Watson. It's also on Infowars.com. Big Sis begins releasing biological agents into Boston subway. Anybody in Boston? Anybody live in Boston? I know someone there, but they don't listen to the show. But anybody in Boston? Because I need to know what's going on over there. Send all your information to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Big Sis begins releasing biological agents into Boston subway. Assures public safety despite government history of dangerous biological testing on the American public. Thank you, Steve Watson and Paul Joseph Watson. You can also see that article at Infowars.com. The Department of Homeland Security will begin releasing a dead bacteria into the Boston subway tomorrow in an operation it says will test sensors designed to detect biological agents that could be released as part of a terrorist attack. Little is known about what exactly the bacteria consists of, and the DHS has not been very forthcoming with the information, saying only that it is a, quote, non-infectious, unquote, material that has been, quote, approved as a food supplement, unquote. The Boston Globe reports the tests will begin Wednesday and will be held periodically over the next year at the Harvard and Porter Square stations in Cambridge and the Davis station in Somerville. Quote, a rapid alert from a detection system can locate and identify these materials and provide for immediate and appropriate response to protect people and contain the hazard, unquote, stated DHS scientist Ann Hultgren in the agency's press release. Okay, now wait a minute. They're going to a subway and they're releasing a dead bacteria. Now, how can they determine, their readings and results if it's a dead bacteria? It's a good question, is it not? This is just completely stupid, people. Completely and utterly stupid. They've done this years ago. They did it in New York years ago. Got a lot of people sick doing it. It's a dead bacteria. How are they going to find out what the results are if they don't have an active live bacteria? How can they control it if it gets out of hand? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway. I don't know, man. Well, I mean, come on. Here's things from rawstory.com. Coal miners say they were forced to attend Romney event and donate. A group of coal miners in Ohio feel they would have been fired if they did not attend the August 14th event with presumptive Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney and contribute to his campaign. And to make matters worse, they lost a day of pay for their trouble. In phone calls and emails to WWVA radio host David Blomquist, employees at the Century Mine in Ohio said they feared retaliation if they did not attend the Romney event. Quote, yes, we were in fact told that the Romney event was mandatory and would be without pay, that the hours spent there would need to be made up by non-salary employees outside a regular working hours, with the only other option being to take a pay cut for the equivalent time, unquote, the employees told Blomquist. Quote, yes, letters have gone around with lists of names of employers or employees who have not attended or donated to the political events, unquote. Okay, I can go on. Don't have time, but I can go on. Click on the link on Liberty and Freedom Network. Coal miners say they were forced to attend a Romney event and donate. Oh, yeah. Quickly, before I go to break, I'll tell you this one from Infowars.com. From NewScientist.com. William Ferguson over there. Thank you, Will. Cyborg tissue is half living cells, half electronics. They beat like real heart cells, but the rat cardiomyocytes in a dish at Harvard University are different in one crucial way. Snaking through them are wires and transistors that spy on each cell's electrical impulses. In the future, the wires might control their behavior too. Versions of this souped-up quote-unquote cyborg tissue have been created for neurons, muscle, and blood vessels. They could be used to test drugs, movie camera. They could be used to test drugs, movie camera, or as the basis of biological versions of existing implants such as pacemakers. Somebody inserted a word there, or words that shouldn't have been there. If signals can also be sent to the cells, cyborg tissue could be used in prosthetics or to create tiny robots. Charles Lieber, who leads the team behind the cyborg tissue, said, quote, it allows one to effectively blur the boundary between electronic, inorganic systems and organic biological ones, unquote. Okay. Remember the $6 Million Man? That was from a book. I can't remember exactly what it was titled, but it was from something else that the TV series was created from. We got a huge problem, folks. We got a huge, massive problem. It's called the infinite ignorance of the people in Washington, D.C. It's also called the sheeple syndrome, which I think I just made up. That people are not looking out for themselves or their neighbors anymore. Okay? That we have this idea that everything's going to be okay if we just let government handle it. Let me see. You look at the Egyptian empire, you look at the Roman Empire, you look at the German Empire, you look at the British Empire, and now you're looking at the American Empire, and that's what it is, the United States Socialist Empire, the North American Union. This is what it is. And you're going to sit there and say, no, it's not. It's still the United States of America. We are free people. We manage blah, 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 blah. You're going to go on and on and on trying to outshout me, aren't you? Well, let me see. No, you're not. Because I have the facts. Truth has no agenda. And you're wrong. Okay? I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong at all. Really? Okay, prove yourself right then. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Yes, you do. You got to prove it to yourself. Well, that doesn't matter because I don't have to prove it to you. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Seriously. You do. I don't know what else to say to those types of people. But, they got their head in their butts. They don't know what they're doing. And I'll be back after this. It's New York, February 6th, 1964. The Beatles are making their appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in one more day. The Plaza Hotel is crazy with the preparations. Alex Frazier, a desk clerk, has secretly let his brother Freddie use the penthouse suite for the evening so he can wine and dine the girl of his dreams. What Alex and Freddie don't know is the Secret Service are using the same room to hide spy novelist Henry Lade. His most recent novel has attracted the attention of the Soviets and East Germans. The communist countries believe Lade may have secretly discovered their plot to bomb Fresno. Assassins are dispatched to kidnap or kill Lade, whichever is easiest. What Agent John Parker and Henry Lade don't know is the Beatles are staying in the same room for their first appearance on American television. Let's Get Laid by Thomas Amo, available on the Kindle at Amazon.com. From family to friends in everyday life, he sees it for what it is. He'll tell you his views on family, politics, and what's in the news. From the world around him, he discusses many issues. Come listen to The Brian Keller Show right here on Spreaker.com.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Whatever the subject you can think of, we talk about it. Come join Diana and Wayne as we discuss whatever it is that is happening in our lives.
Come and listen to Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Check it out on Spreaker.com.
Thank you for coming to the Views Express right here on Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting on Spreaker.com. Little show note. Little correction on one of the promos there within that break. The Brian Keller Show, that BK Show, is now on KTRNradio.com. KTRNradio.com over there, also that radio show with your host, Jay Towers. Please check it out. Tell them Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Views Expressed sent you. KTRNradio.com. Anywho, let's finish up here. I just want to give another shout out there to Michael Vera over there at Late Night in the Midlands. Hope you're all doing good. And their show is on at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern. I was going to say Pacific, but that's not right. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. It starts in about 10 minutes. So you might want to check it out at latenightinthemidlands.com. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of things changing, a lot of pictures on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check it out. Let me know. If you're a writer and you are a reporter, a citizen reporter, you got, your own views or whatever it may be, please send them to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. One last article. It's quite lengthy, so you're going to have to click on the link there on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. And it's from Infowars.com, written by Michael Snyder over at EconomicCollapse.com. The headline is, "It is not just your imagination. American families are getting poorer." Did you know that the median household income in the United States is lower today than it was when the last recession supposedly ended? If we are in the middle of an economic recovery, how can this possibly be happening? Stunning new statistics compiled by Centier Research show that the U.S. economy is not nearly as healthy as we have been led to believe. According to the study that Centier Research has just released, median household income in the United States was sitting at $55,470 back in January of 2000. In December of 2007, when the recession began, it was sitting at $54,916. In June of 2009, when the recession supposedly ended, it was sitting at $53,508. This is yearly figures, folks. Today, it is sitting at $50,964. This is a long-term trend that is definitely going in the wrong direction. The fact that the median household income in the U.S. is now 4.8% lower than it was when the last recession ended is incredibly disturbing, especially since all of the things that we buy on a regular basis just keep going up in price. Food, gas, electricity, car insurance, health insurance all cost a whole lot more today than they did back in the year 2000, and yet median household income has dropped 8.1% since that time. So what does all this mean? It means that American families are getting poorer. So you may want to read the rest of that article. It is not your imagination. American families are getting poorer. And, yeah, they are. I've always said this. In this current situation that we live in economically, the rich get richer. The more money they have, the more they control us. And the upper, or I should say the bottom tier of the middle class, basically all of the middle class, essentially, and the poor and the destitute and all of those people become non-existent. And that is the way the rich want it. The elites, the bankers, the eugenicists, they all want you middle class, poor, destitute, street people dead. Okay? That's what they want. And they're not going to stop until they see their dream of you people in the grave fulfilled. That is what they want. I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of money you make, what type of education you have. They want you dead. So that the bankers, the elites, the Bilderberg Group, those billion trillionaires, whatever they are, can take over the rest of the United States, divide it up amongst themselves, and there you go. That's what they want. But see, there's a light at the end of this tunnel. It's not the light of an oncoming train that's going to smack you. The light at the end of the tunnel is this. We, the people. They're amassing, the elites are massing bunches of people, the military. They're doing this, they're changing laws, they're doing everything they can to do one thing and one thing only. They know that you and I are awake. They know that you and I are armed. They know that you and I are going to rebel against their system. And they are setting the mousetrap right now because they think we're nothing but animals. And they are going to do everything they can to stop us. Okay? They're going to do everything they can to stop us. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't have I don't have chapter and verse on what they are going to do. I really don't. I do know this. We need to get something going. We need to stand up and say, enough is enough. Listen up, Bubba, and you know who you are. Put down your beer. Stop watching your stupid sports programs on ESPN. And there's other people as well. Stop writing articles for boxing magazines or some other sports magazine and open up your freaking eyes. What are you going to do? Sit there and just, do whatever you want to do and drink your beer and go from there? And the next step in that parade there, genius, is getting shipped off to a re-education FEMA camp somewhere. Hello? Hey, can you repeat history? Hitler did the same thing and rounded up millions of people. Hey, what happened after that? Anyway. We're going to get out of here. I want to thank you for listening to views expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network. Please come back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll do this again. There's a lot of things going on that you need to be aware of. There's a lot of things that you need to pay attention to. Once you accept the fact that we are in a police state, there's one thing I want to say to you, and it's this. We the people have the power, for we are America.